Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Thulo Hoyang. It has been a tough week for Muzi Sibiya as he faces relentless cross-examination from Advocate Baloyi. But Muzi Sibiya, I think, has put up a sterling performance in the face of that grueling 1 week of cross-examination. And it has proved very resilient. In spite of the few contradictions that have been pointed out by the prosecution in his evidence, especially that evidence which was put on his behalf by his defense counsels, Muzi Sibiya is sticking his guns. Because you must recall that even if a defense counsel or your defense counsel puts a version that you yourself later contradict, that act of putting that version to a prosecution witness is not evidence. So those contradictions should not have too much of an impact on the outcome of this cross-examination by the prosecution. Muzi Sibiya is adamant that the assaults were grueling. The assaults were just third degree. And he has demonstrated this not only now in court, but you'll recall that the court went on to an inspection in loco. And what he is saying now corroborates what he said during that inspection in loco. Let us take a brief look at how this inspection in loco went and how Muzi Sibiya went about explaining that he had in fact been assaulted in an open place, contrary to what Gininda and Baloyi are maintaining. Because you'll recall that the prosecution is saying it is not possible that the police, or it is improbable that the police would have assaulted him in a place where, he was visible, or that assault could be seen by people passing on the street. Let us take a look at this inspection in loco.
Savela ngala imoto zangena la
we appeared from this side. The cars drove in here. This is where the vehicles parked.
Where?
It's pointing. Come before. The vehicles parked here.
I
think there were 7.
Yeah.
They made me to sit down here. I was cuffed like this. I was seated like this.
So
when I was seated like this is where they would put on the plastic, and I ended up laying down.
So emva kwesikhathi ngasekuvela owavelayo, so lo baba lo ngithi mina ngagcina ngilo ngazigcineni ukuthi uginela, so ye washo uma ngigcina ngibona sengibona sekukhona yena la, so ba shift abamela lapha ngasemotweni baba meeting yabo,
and then
seyabuya sezokhuluma la.
This particular gentleman, who I later on got to know as Gininda, then appeared. They then moved towards the vehicle. They held a meeting over there.
Okay. Now, this area where we are, will you be able to tell the court what place is this?
In
the name of this place?
Indawo lena esikuyona manje ungakhona yini ukuthi uyitshele inkantolo ukuthi yini igama lale ndawo?
So thina sazi ukuthi indawo eseGosport indawo kamasipala le.
We know it to be the gold spot belonging to the municipality.
From where we are, where's the police station?
Kundawo esikuyona njengamanje i-police station kuphi nendawo?
Police station la ngemuva.
The police station is right at the back.
Ngoba ngihleli ngibhekele i-police station la lapho.
As I'm seated facing that direction, the police station is behind me.
Are you familiar with this place?
Uyayazi le ndawo le?
Le ngangakaze ngize ngene la ngaphakathi bengiyazi nje ngokwendlula la ngaphandle estradini.
I've never
So ngaqala ungena ngalela la.
Oh, sorry. I never entered the premises. I would just pass over there. But on that day was my first time entering these premises.
So what are you then saying? Are you familiar with the surrounding here, except for the fact that you never got in here?
Ngaphandle kokuthi ungakaze ungene lana kodwa indawo yona lena indawo uyayazi.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the place, with the surroundings.
Okay, thank you.
Seven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Now,
Sorry.
oh, okay. That was now where he says he was interrogated. Sorry.
From my understanding, this fencing, was it still here? Can you see the fencing?
Nanjengoba kuvaliwe ke lana kubiyelwe. Kwakukhona la ngaleso sikhathi.
Lokubi
Yes.
kwakukhona.
Yes, my lord.
Were the cars coming in and out?
Ingaba imoto zayingena iphuma?
Lezala bengahamba lapho.
Specifically the cars I was traveling in.
No, any car.
Nah, akhulunywa ngazo noma yiphi.
Ngaze ngiyibona.
I never saw them.
And kwakuyi lockdown esasikhathi.
And during that time it was a lockdown.
Okay. Thank you. Now, Mr. Sibiya, that was the incident that took place on the 30th of May, not so?
Manje ke leso isigameko esenzeka nge-30 zika May yangithi.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you had done with what happened on the 30th, can you please also take us through what happened in the demonstration that you did about the 5th of June 2020? Yes.
Nanjengoba uqeda ke ukhombisa ukuthi kwenzekani nge-30 ungakhombisa ukuthi kwenzekani ke ngale ndlela oqeda ukutshengisa ngayo manje ke nge-5 zika June.
Now, just to check your memory, the date of the 5th is the date on which you ended up having had to go and do an alleged pointing out before Lieutenant Colonel Khatebe. Do you still remember that?
Uma ngingakhumbuza ke i-date yange-5 ile date ke bathi ke yona ke wahamba wayokhomba ngayo ke phambi kwakhe uKolonel Hadebe.
Yeah, now remember on the day you were driven direct from Pretoria, from Valeria, as you remember.
Ukhumbuleke ngalelo langa lelo baza nawo ke nibuya ePretoria eValeria.
Yeah, then upon arrival here, how did the car go into the premises, if this is a place that we're talking about on the incident of the 5th and stuff?
Uma kuukuthi ke iyona indawo le esikhuluma ngayo isigameko sange-5 zika June ima ingena ke imoto noma imoto zangena kanjani khona uma kuukuthi iyona indawo le yange-5 zika June?
Yeah, iyo le.
Yes, it is the premises.
Zangena futhi khona lapha zazongena la. So zama khona la futhi.
They once again entered right there, came in through there, and they entered the premises, and once again they were parked over there.
Base bengehlisa futhi.
And then they made.
Kuyole ndawo noma ngeke ngize ngithi le point lele ngimkulo la. Mara sasikhona khona la.
I was
Okay.
I was then made to alight the vehicle, and I was placed here. Although I cannot say precisely that it was this specific place, but this is where I was placed.
Okay, you can then start to demonstrate exactly as you did with what happened on the 30th.
So as you see him point out the place where they made him sit down, handcuffed at the back, you see a man who is sticking to his story now, because this is exactly how things went during the inspection in loco, and he's not deviating from that. And the most important thing to note is that there were assaults on him. But even that, act of keeping him forever in handcuffs, handcuffed from the back, in itself was some form of torture. You see, as he was being moved around like that, you can see him as he sits down there on the ground. How difficult it is for him to negotiate sitting down, because his hands are handcuffed, and he's handcuffed from the back, which is a very uncomfortable position. He has also told the court how he bled and how he sustained a lot of injuries which were not necessarily visible. And that is also a plausible position to take, because sometimes, injuries don't have to be necessarily visible to be injuries. Some injuries can be very serious and yet internal and not visible to the naked eye. So Muzi Sibiya, I think, has done a very good job of trying to fend off this cross-examination. But what is important is that he has actually demonstrated, in spite of the few inconsistencies here and there, that he was in fact assaulted by the police while he was in police custody during the investigation of the murder of MEYIWA. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the views and subscriptions that I'm seeing. The 12,000 mark is just here. Let me raise my fist and say to you, let's go for it. Thank you very much and have a nice day.